Hello and welcome to another video. Welcome to all of the new people who have joined the channel today, who have come over from the BitBoy crypto channel. Really appreciate you guys coming and giving me a subscribe. Hope you enjoyed my insights. And this is something I'm starting to do, which is a little bit new. I'm starting to do a bit of a weekly update twice a week. So on Fridays and on Mondays, I'm going to go over some of the news that I've seen that's got significant effects or significant pull within the marketplace. So before we do jump into some of that news that I've handpicked, I want to just revisit the shorts and the longs. Between April and mid-April and where we're at now, mid-June, the longs have been slowly, pretty consistently growing. The one thing that's really interesting is the short position, which is quite the opposite. From the 5th or 6th of June until now, the 17th of June, or the 18th, I should say, because I'm in Australia and it's the 17th in the States, we've seen a really laddery effect of shorts here. So there's over $1 billion in shorts right now. This is just on one exchange, Bitfinex. And this is all coming up to the intermittent death cross, which should happen in the next few days, between the kind of the 20th and the 24th, depending on, if Bitcoin goes up or down over the next few days. So this is really interesting. The volatility right now is not as bad as it has been, with BTC sitting at around the $38,000 mark. But looking at these shorts, it's really, uncertain what's going to happen here. Is there someone who's going to, look for stopping these shorts out and bump the price way up, or are we going to see Bitcoin actually respond to these shorts and be pulled back down? So time will tell. Time will tell. Very interesting all the same. So into the news. Lobby New Zealand sent a letter to the Prime Minister seeking that the New Zealand government recognise Bitcoin as a foreign currency in 86 days when Bitcoin becomes legal tender in El Salvador. As you would have seen, Bitcoin has passed as legal tender in El Salvador, which is really exciting. It opens up some big opportunities for us, for people in the space, meaning if it's recognised as legal tender, then being able to trade with it, being able to buy objects, cars, houses, other investments, food, all of that sort of stuff, we won't be subject to capital gains tax, which happens in a lot of countries, especially Australia. So the more countries that recognize this currency, Bitcoin, as an actual currency and legal tender, the higher the probability of these taxes being abolished. So we want to see this, and I'm going to go through a number of different countries that are either in talks with doing this or are currently pushing forward with it very shortly. Plan B. If you haven't been following Plan B, I really recommend you do. Plan B is the creator of the stock to flow model, S2F model. And he's saying that just to confirm, both my S2FX models and on-chain signals point towards a second run of this bull market. So looking at this chart, it's definitely come back down from where it was headed. There's another couple of dots that have formed down here, but he's still saying that we're very much on par for the next leg up and that we're still very much in a bull market. Prices in El Salvador supermarkets will now be displayed in both Bitcoin and dollars. So this is also a very exciting development. The fact that there's US dollars as well as Bitcoin sats as a value for people to purchase goods and services in El Salvador is a step in the right direction. And there's lots of people that have different thoughts and think that Bitcoin shouldn't be a currency. It shouldn't be used as a currency. The whole network's going to slow down and yada. Things like the Lightning Network will improve that and will make it much easier. So this is a great development all the same. Preston's saying that the fact that the IMF is making threatening statements to a country with a GDP of only 24 billion annually tells you more about their fear of Bitcoin than anything else. Good luck stopping it. The mind virus keeps spreading. So $24 billion annually is the equivalent of a couple of top 10 large cap cryptocurrencies, which is pretty crazy thinking that that's the GDP of this entire country. The Texas Department of Banking has given state chartered banks the green light to custody crypto assets. So this is another massive step in the right direction. Banks in Texas are now able to hold cryptocurrency on behalf of their users and thus protecting them from any scams and or hacking. So here's another really great development. The federal government of Mexico's Representative Edward Murat announced on Twitter he's taking action to push forward Bitcoin and crypto adoption in his country. And just to see and to show that people are continuing to buy, especially retail, the BlockFi, which is a great provider of being able to lend your cryptocurrency out and then get a percentage as a return for between 5 and 10% APY, or you can borrow against your cryptocurrency if you don't want to sell and trigger a capital gains event. So if you want to join the BlockFi platform, there's a link below this video, and I think you can actually get $100 in free Bitcoin if you do use that link. So BlockFi has announced, their CEO has announced that account balances in the last year have increased fivefold from $10,000 to $50,000, which is a really, really good sign. There's a lot of people in the position of knowing that fiat money or cash in their respective countries is just not going to give them the returns that they're after, and it's going to be much safer to put them into either a stable coin where you can get up to 10% on these platforms, or in Bitcoin or Ethereum. Very, very cool. The CEO of Kraken breaks down why he stands by his 200K end-of-year price target for Bitcoin. So, obviously, the CEO of Kraken, one of the larger exchanges in the world, he has a vested interest in Bitcoin hitting 200K by the end of the year. So, I can see why he's projecting this, but at the same time, it's really good to see his breakdown. This link has since disappeared, and you can't actually see what his breakdown is, but if you do search, you might be able to find a cached version. The poster boy of crypto himself, Michael Saylor. If you worry the government might devalue 90% of your life savings and seize your dollars, Bitcoin fixes this. So the Lebanese, I think it's the Lebanese lira, has had a massive, massive drop in the last 2 or 3 years of over 90% of the value against the US dollar. So the Lebanese people are really feeling the crunch from this, and yeah, Michael Saylor is saying that Bitcoin fixes that. Taproot. If you've been living under a rock, you will not know that Bitcoin is going through a very much needed protocol upgrade. So this protocol is going to be about efficiency as well as privacy, and it'll unlock potential for smart contracts, which it's really ironic that this is happening now, because many, many years ago, in August of 2017, when BCH and BTC ended up splitting. BCH was a fork of the Bitcoin network. The whole concept behind that was bigger blocks, whereas Bitcoin Core was about smaller blocks, and BCH has the ability for smart contracts in it from the get-go, whereas it's taken 4 years for this to be added to the BTC chain. Either way, it's really good progress, and it makes me even more happier to be hodling my BTC. Paul Tudor Jones, who's a massive hedge fund guy, multi-billionaire, has come out and said publicly that you should be owning at least 5% Bitcoin in your portfolio, and the reason being is because math. Great comment from him. I believe there will be a time when cryptocurrencies play a significant role in trade and finance and occupy a considerable niche in the international settlements market. This is the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov. So this is really, really cool coming out of Russia, and I think it's just a matter of time before more and more people in his position will be starting to do this. Michael Saylor has, again, raised a bunch of money. He raised over $1 billion in private convertible notes to his investors to buy more Bitcoin. And what he's doing is he's essentially turning parts of his stock into a bond or somewhat type service. I don't know the ins and outs exactly. I've just read this about this briefly, and he is going to be offering that as a common stock, as a Class A common stock over time. Very, very cool. So as I said before, I'm going to go over all the countries that are talking about adding cryptocurrency, or Bitcoin more specifically, as legal tender. So El Salvador has already started. Paraguay are looking at it as well. Panama, which this is a massive one. As you know, that the Panama Canal has billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of trade flowing through it between Europe and the United States, and also South America. And to see, this been looked upon as part of their strategy is very, very, very exciting. Brazil is another one, as well as Mexico, which we saw before, and Argentina. Fox News Corp is joining the list of investors and businesses pumping big money into NFTs, launching a new fund for digital creators and seeding it with $100 million. So the Fox network, whether it be the news or the different shows that they produce, they're a content creator and they understand what the whole NFT space is doing, and they're getting behind it full ball. So $100 million fund for NFTs from Fox, I think, is very, very exciting times. Mr. Alan Howard, the co-founder and former CEO of Brevan Howard Hedge Fund, is going all in on crypto. So he's actually going and investing in a new DAO, which is being launched from the Bybit exchange, which is a Singapore-based exchange. And he's one of the seed investors that's going to be funding $230 million, including Peter Thiel. So if you aren't aware of the DAO, or the very first DAO, I was actually involved in this in 2016, and it ended up being hacked. It was the biggest hack at the time and had over $50 million stolen. And this is why the ETH and ETC chains ended up splitting, is because one side of the camp was saying that this shouldn't happen, we'll just change the code, and the other side was saying that you should never do this, no matter how bad the hack is. So this was the first big decentralized autonomous organization, and it was supposed to be a decentralized hedge fund essentially, and it went belly up. Now 5-6 years later, there's been a lot of progress in the security sector, as well as a lot of understanding on how these DAOs work. So seeing an exchange like Bybit, which has a huge amount of volume and a huge amount of users wanting to create and launch something and have funding from some of these big VC heavyweights, is a really, really good sign. Charlie Shrem. Neil Patrick Harris is a Bitcoiner. He said he's been hodling for some time, and his goal is to let everyone know how easy and accessible it is to invest in and join the future of finance, and of course not financial advice. So good on you, NPH. We appreciate you. Another one from Charlie Shrem is a bit of a breakdown over the last 10 or 11 years of Bitcoin. So in 2010, people said no one uses it. 2012, only computer nerds use it. 2013, only drug dealers use it. 2014, only money launderers use it. 2017, only gamblers use it. 2019, only a small percentage of the population uses it. And 2020, only small companies use it. And finally, where we're at now, 2021, only small countries use it. We've definitely made a lot of progress when it comes to BTC and its adoption. And then finally, we've got Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley's clients will have access to a new Bitcoin fund that will be made available by NYDIG and FS Investments. So another huge institutional bank being able to jump into crypto using a safe on-ramp, i.e. the NYDIG. So if you've enjoyed this update, it's just a brief, very, very short update of some of the really top news articles that I've seen this week. If you've enjoyed this, please leave me a comment below. If you would like seeing this type of content, please let me know. And as always, support the channel. If you buy or use the services that are listed below this video in the description, all the commissions that I get from this, I'm going to be pumping back into the 100K giveaway. If you don't know what the 100K giveaway is, also click the link in the video below. I'm giving away $100,000 in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency by the end of the year to one lucky member, and all you have to do is comment on the videos. Super, super easy. And then finally, if you haven't already downloaded my crypto fast start guide, where I give away 3 really good coins that I believe are going to do very, very well this year and in 2022, then definitely go to cryptofaststartguide.com, click the link and put your email address in there and download that. As always, I've really enjoyed making this video for you. If you have any questions or comments that you would like to see in the next video, please leave them below. As always, like, subscribe and share, and I will see you in the next video.